NovaMusic.com.
Hi, this is Rich Formidoni from Korg USA. We're here at Nova Music, and this is the SV1 Stage Vintage Piano. As you look at the SV1, you'll notice that there's no menus, no displays, just buttons and knobs. It's really easy to get around on the SV1, and it gives you a really rewarding organic playing experience. So lots of vintage touches here, and you can see the case is just really slick. It's got a nice rounded case design with the beautiful end caps here. So it's a lot of fun to play on stage. And there's also a 73 key version. This here is the 88 key version. The 73 key has a red back panel with black end caps, and it also features our graded hammer action RH3 key bed. So what that means is that when you're playing an acoustic grand piano sound, for example, it'll feel just like the real thing. Heaviest keys on the bottom, lightest keys up top, weighted in 4 separate zones, just like a real grand piano. The 73 key version has that same exact action. So with the word piano in the name, you know it's got to have a good piano sound. So that's an example of a German grand piano. A little softer, mellower, and darker. Now here's a Japanese grand. So it's a little bit brighter, a little better for rock and blues kind of music. Now as I'm playing this piano, I can sculpt it using a dedicated 3-band EQ that's over here on the left side of the front panel. So all I need to do is turn it on, and it's actually preset with a nice EQ curve to brighten it up even more. I can sculpt it by turning the knobs, and if I want to return to 0, I can just push one of these knobs. They're buttons as well as knobs. So moving along, we've also got some terrific electric piano sounds as well. So check this out. So in addition to hearing the tines, you're also hearing some mechanical noises in there. We've actually sampled the mechanical noises of the keys themselves. So you hear them thunk into place and then return back after you let the keys go with realistic decay tracking. Now, as I'm playing these particular sounds, say I might want to add a phaser, which is a very common thing for this kind of electric piano. Now, in the past, you might have carried a stomp box with you to get that vintage phaser sound. Now, what we've done over here in the modulation and pre-effects sections are model all these sought-after vintage studio effects. So all I need to do is turn on the phaser, and I'm good to go. And you can modify speed and intensity right on the front panel. Now, there are other kinds of electric pianos as well, including some terrific whirly sounds. Now, what I'm doing here is playing the sound with sort of a direct feel to it. Now, if I wanted to, I could crank up this genuine tube over here, and it's tied to our amplifier models. So it's definitely not just sitting over there looking pretty. It's warm, and with good reason. So all I need to do is turn on the amp modeling section, and suddenly I get a very distinctive growl, a natural warm kind of overdrive. So you can use that tube in a whole lot of different ways. We've modeled 6 different vintage amplifiers, including an organ amp. So what I'll do here is call up one of our great organ sounds that makes use of that organ amplifier and also makes use of our terrific rotary speaker effect. Now what I just did in the middle of that was press the slow fast button. So as we're using that rotary speaker, we can suddenly switch it from slow to fast. You can also control that with an optional foot switch. Now in addition to the electric pianos and organs, there are also some terrific clav sounds in here as well. In the pre-effects section, there's actually a genuine Vox wah model. And right now I've got an expression pedal plugged in, so I can control it manually. If I wanted to, I could also control it automatically, but if you've got a pedal, it's a great way to add some modulation to the sound. Now, moving on, there are actually lots of other sounds as well, 36 in total. So as we move to the other category, we'll see that there's some great choir sounds in here as well. We've also included some great synthesizer sounds as well. There's also a beautiful sampled string sound. And if you find those string sounds too realistic, we've also got a slightly mellower sound based on a tape-based keyboard. As I'm going through the sounds, I'm using the type knob and the variation knob to select the type of sound I want and then one of 6 variations. After I've sculpted the sound the way I like it, I can actually save my 8 favorite sounds right here on the front panel with these 8 big favorites buttons. To save one, all I need to do is hold the button down until it blinks and then press it again. So it's just like saving a radio preset in your car. In addition to everything you've seen so far, there's also a dedicated reverb and delay section. So in addition to lots of different reverbs, we've also got a very cool tape echo effect that you can actually hear winding up just like the actual vintage effect. There's a USB port on the back of the SV1, and if you plug that into your computer, you can use our SV1 Editor software. So this lets you archive your favorite sounds and customize them and save them for future use, and also it lets you dig a little bit deeper than what's on the front panel. So, for example, if I wanted to customize the amplifier model, I could adjust more parameters of the amp itself and also customize a cabinet that I want to pair with it. And if I wanted to modify a bit more than speed and intensity on the chorus effect, I could do that. There are lots of other parameters that are not evident on the front panel, but that you can modify using the editor. Now, also on the back panel, there are XLR outputs in addition to the 1/4-inch outputs. So, gone are the days of needing a direct box on stage. You can just plug right in with XLR and make your engineer happy. There are also 2 audio inputs. So if you're running a 2-keyboard setup, such as what I've got here, you can actually take the topmost keyboard and run it right into the SV1. It'll bypass all the effects, and it'll just sum right to the master outputs. So it's a really clean way to again, keep your engineer happy at the front of house. So that is the SV1 from Korg. Thanks for watching.